I'm at the Future Economy Forum. We just showed the Kiss the Ground movie, and it's a joy to watch it, as it always is. And I'm happy to answer some questions you might have about regenerative agriculture and grazing. But I want to hear from you. Just tell me a little bit about, who you are, what brought you here to see the movie, and just any thoughts that you have right now. Here, I'll give you the mic.
Thank you. So I'm Richard Zaltzman.
And I guess you can talk to this guy.
I'm Richard Zaltzman. I'm with EIT Food. We're a European food innovation agency focused on net zero food systems, healthy lives through food, and building trust. And I think those three themes really feature in the film. It is about net zero or low carbon food systems and drawdown. It is about bringing health and nutrition back into food, and it's building trust back with the food system. So for me, it was a film that kind of encapsulated in an almost tearful 90 minutes what we're trying to achieve. Also, for me, what's really interesting is seeing it in the US context. So in the European context, we're just looking at it, I think, at a different scale, and to actually have the hope that it can be done at such an industrial scale, if needed, was really, really hopeful. So that's my main takeaway, is regen isn't necessarily something that works if you're manually tilling the land with your bare hands like they do in India or Africa, but it can work at an industrial scale in the US. So really positive.
Excellent. And would you sort of introduce yourself and do the same thing? Thank you.
So hi, my name is Renske by Grinsven. I'm connected to Now Partners as one of the partners and a program lead. I joined this movie because I haven't seen it, and I've heard so much about it, so it was such an opportunity to see it here at COP28 in Dubai. I'm just blown away by it, because I'm a part of also the Rabobank, the local on the board of directors, and we of course work a lot with farmers, and I think Rabobank is shifting gears and helping farmers make the transition, and to see actually have a deeper understanding on how that shift could happen is very valuable. And it's not such a big shift, I think it's really very doable and able to finance it. So that was very impactful for me to see. And I'm kind of astounded that still also the last part, that I think the consumers just don't know how to make an impact, so that they're eating healthier food, making different choices. I think there's still a lot of work to do on that behalf, but it gave me first a big punch in the face, because there's like the tremendous impact that we're making on the planet was very intense to see, but also somehow in a great way gave me hope. So I think there's a lot to do for all of us, but I'm looking forward to it.
It gave you hope. That's the takeaway. That's the takeaway. It gave you hope. Great. Listen, Oh, yes, of course. I'm sorry.
So I'm Daniel. I live in Madrid. So we have a huge problem with desertification in Spain, and we have a few acres just outside Madrid in the Sierra de Madrid. And we say, what do we do with this land? And this is the inspiration for me to really think through how we're going to use that land from desertification to something that regenerates. So Kiss the Ground will be exported, copy-pasted to Madrid as well.
Excellent. Thank you, my friends. Now listen, I just want to, I know we all have other things we want to do, but just if you have some questions, anything that you saw in the film that you have a question about, maybe I can answer it, because I know some I know some more about this topic.
I think what I'm very interested about, is because governments will have to make a shift, as with I think at COP28 with Truran, you saw a huge shift being made, but how can we really create this awareness? Because as it was portrayed in America, that the subsidies are getting this perverted, like how to really create awareness on it. I think that's what puzzles me. That's of course not an answer you can maybe give, but I think that's really what I...
Well, this whole pavilion that we're in now is called the Future Economy Forum. I mean, so that's the whole focus of this pavilion, is to talk about, well, what are the economics of the regenerative future, right? How does that work? I mean, they've been talking about that every day. And where should the money go, And, ultimately, I think something that has to be brought into the equation is water. Water, okay? People are trying to put a price on carbon, but it's sort of very hard to measure carbon. But what if you were rewarded for the amount of water that you're able to keep on your property? So instead of, or in addition to, tons of carbon per hectare, what if it were liters of water per hectare? See?
Make it manageable already.
See? Now it's easy to measure. And what's the cost of not keeping water on your land? See, those are immediately. You know what the drought cost is. You know what the crop failure cost is, or if it's a flood. You know what the downstream. The insurance agencies know all this. They know exactly what the costs of floods are. And so you see, I think this is going to tie back into the insurance agencies and to drought and flood relief. And then that's where I think policies are going to be underwritten. They're going to change how policies are underwritten based on the quality of your soil, not just because of carbon trading, but because of water retention. That's a much more realistic thing. Water's not some abstract thing like carbon. So anyway, that's my theory. I think it's going to be based on water, ultimately.
Or maybe even how rich the soil is. If you have a measurement on how rich, how
Right.
alive the soil is, can
Right,
that give them some
right.
sort of...
And there's there's good measurements on how much water can be held based on how good the soil is. They covered it in the movie. Okay, bye-bye, my friend. All right, well, let's stop there. Thank you. This was